Hello, and thank you for once again joining me on the Secret Identity YouTube channel. I'm Andy, Andy with a computer, so you know I'm in business this time. Yeah, this is going to get serious now. This is kind of a bits and pieces episode, I suppose. I've had so many great comments on the videos, and I want to say thank you. I really enjoy reading them all. I appreciate you taking the time to watch the videos at all, frankly, and then comment with your own thoughts. It's really cool. Thank you. And I've had some questions. So I thought I'm going to do a bit of a catch-all question and answers here today. So let's jump straight in. Okay, so first up, we have JR8765, if there's a real name, who says, question, what's your take on synergy between movies and comics? I ask because occasionally it's just a costume change, but otherwise it changes the entire character's lore, and often for the worse. This is tricky, isn't it? Because as comic fans, you do want the movies to accurately represent what we loved about the comics. Often, sometimes even, you see something which is so far removed, as you say, you almost wonder why they bothered paying for the license. I'm instantly, and I think I mentioned in my reply to your comment, the Constantine movie, which I actually love, by the way. I mean, God love Keanu. He's a terrible actor, isn't he? But he certainly can fill a screen. The guy's got something, and I don't know what it is, because it isn't acting chops, but you gotta love Keanu. That was a good film. I enjoyed it. Wasn't really Constantine, though, in many ways, was it? They so easily could have just called it anything you want, like Hellhunter, and it would have worked fine. And people would have been like, oh, it's a bit Constantine-esque, isn't it? But they didn't need to pay for no license. But I suppose they wanted the license in order to give the film an oomph. But I don't know if that was the character to do it at that stage. How much do we really want our movies to follow the comics exactly? I mean, you know the comics. You want a new story, but you also want it to be loyal to the trappings of the character and the original source material. So I'm afraid I don't really have much in the way of strong opinion. This will sound like such a douchey answer, but it's true. If you've got a good filmmaker who knows what they're doing and they've got an interest in the source material, let them do what they want. I'm not bothered. Really, just make a good film. And I think having a genuinely good film will better serve the character and the comics medium as a whole than just slavishly being a slave to the rules set out in the comics. So there you go. Not really much of an answer, that, is it? But hey, there you go. It's my answer. Ants Tall Tales, which is a superb name, by the way, says, loving the channel. Thank you so much. Question for you. Sure, anything. I can't read. Since the shop has opened, my wife has decided she wants to start reading comics. Can you give me a top 5 strong female lead selection that she can jump in on? Bonus points if it happens to be a horror or gore fest. I love this question because, hey, bit of a personal backstory for me. My wife, exactly the same. My wife has never been a comics reader. She's been married to me for bloody loads of years, hundreds of years. And I've always read comics, and she has never once picked up anything at all, ever. Until I said, you know what, I'm going to open a comic shop. And then she thought, I better get at least in on this because she works here too. So since we've opened this comic shop, she has legitimately got hooked on comics, specifically anything horror, James Tynion in particular. She will not watch a horror film or horror TV show or anything like that at all. She detests them. But for some reason, as soon as it's on paper, she is lapping it up. So I consulted with her in answer to this question because it sounds like our wives are on a similar path here. And if I or my shop can in any way bridge that gap between you, then that's good too. So I got a cheat sheet here. This is Smith household kitchen table work here, with the two of us getting our heads together on how best to answer this question. So this is a labor of love. Some thought's gone into this. Ants Tall Tales, if that is your real name. Okay, are you ready? We're going to go first with Something is Killing the Children. Now, this is a big, big favorite of my wife, and this was kind of like her real gateway, I think. And since she started it, she just wolfed it all down. She got all the volumes, bang, 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 bang. She read all 8. And it's an ongoing series as well. But there's 8 trade paperbacks now to catch up on. So, in brief, we have Erica Slaughter, who is a member of the House of Slaughter, who are a kind of cult sect of monster hunters in this small American town. Basically, children are getting abducted and brutally killed, I'm afraid, by monsters. A child survives the attack and swears that it was a monster, but nobody takes him seriously, apart from Erica Slaughter, who knows better. So it's these kind of other dimensional beasts in small town America, which nobody believes in and nobody can see apart from the children and her, and she must fend them off. It's, again, it looks brilliant. James Tynion is such a safe pair of hands, and it's trying to think of the word. It's written in such a way that even a new comics reader can get into it and get sucked along with it. And as I said, my wife Jamie got absolutely hooked on it. So that's our number 1 for you. Okay, number 2, I Was a Fashion School Serial Killer. Now, this is a new series. It's only on issue 2, so maybe that's an easier jumping on point. This is a monthly comic, and as it sounds, it is about a lady who joins a fashion school, and she's got a unique gift, and no one quite knows how she's got this sort of cutting-edge style. And the clue's in the title, so it's no spoilers to say she is a serial killer, and she skins her victims and uses their skin to make her clothes. So it's horrible. It's interesting. It's kind of like it's almost like a John Hughes serial killer comic. So there you go. That's number 2. Next, then, we have Spectrograph by my friend Christian Ward. What can I say? This one, and James Tynion again, I should say, who wrote it. So this one is, it was a mini-series. It's now collected into a beautiful graphic novel, hardcover graphic novel. And this one is about a real estate agent who is trying to sell basically a haunted house and gets locked inside it with a member of this kind of cult, basically. So it's a horror story. It is pretty gross in places. It packs a lot of punch. It's really dark. It's got a dark soul to it. It looks beautiful because Christian's art, if you're not familiar with it, is brilliant. Again, my wife waltzed it down. My wife read it 3 times. Once because she thought she better had, because Christian Ward was coming for a signing. She loved it. She then read it a second time so she could ask Christian about it from a more educated point of view. And then post all that, having spoken to Christian, she read it a 3rd time. So, I mean, come on. It's a book which rewards rereads. It's good. And it's a one-off. It's all self-contained. So again, maybe it's a good jumping on point. Next up, I'm going to suggest Absolute Wonder Woman. This is an ongoing series. It's just about to release issue 8. In this sort of telling of the story, Diana, Wonder Woman, has been raised in hell. So she's got both her Amazonian powers, but also like a dark magic ability as well. She comes to our world and has to fend off monsters. And so you've got a fish out of water kind of thing, where she is trying to acclimatize to our world. What I like about it is, I mean, obviously, it's easy to say Wonder Woman's a strong character, and of course she is, but in this, our world just does not know how to cope with this new threat it faces. The military, everyone's panicking. You know, the military don't know what to do. And she is this kind of calm, patient shepherd of it all. And she takes control, not by sort of coming in and, you know, pushing everyone out of the way, by talking to people, explaining to people. And she has this sort of sense of great patience. So it's really good. It's really good. Yes, it's a superhero comic, and I sense maybe from the question that's not quite what you were looking for, but it has got monsters. And like I say, it has got this sort of dark magic element to it, and there's sort of a very, very strong, reasoned character, which carries it all together. So that's good. It's really good. And finally, this one's all me. This one's all me. anyone who knows me, if you've been to my shop, or even by now, if you've watched much of my content, you're probably not going to be surprised. I'm going to say Saga. Saga is brilliant. Now, okay, bear with me. Yes, it is fronted by a couple, man and a woman. But Alana is the backbone and the heart, and dare I say it, the guts of it. With no spoilers at all, as the story progresses, she becomes much more so the lead. And she is holding the whole family unit together. It's basically an 18 rated Star Wars meets Romeo and Juliet, where two lovers from different planets who are at war with each other, the planets are at war, they elope and they're having a baby. And so as they've run away from the war, this horrible, unjust war, bounty hunters go after them to bring them back and to punish them, basically, and to cover up the existence of this baby. So the whole story is told by the child, the baby. It starts out, the first page is the baby's being born, and now on issue whatever, 173, 4, she's a young teenager. So it's following, not quite in real time, but it's following the family's life. But with Alana being as a strong female lead, doesn't even describe it, is what I'll say. She is the backbone of the whole thing. Saga is something I give to anybody that will listen. If they've not read it, I say, why not? If they're new to comics and they're an adult, I put it in their hand. Saga's a great place for anybody, your wife, anybody, to begin. So I hope that answers your question. Next up, we're going to go to our final question, as I fear I have rambled longer than expected, as I am wont to do. And this is probably my favorite question, mostly because it starts out, great channel. Good start. This is Beer for Blythe, 8963. Great channel, thank you. Here's my question for you. As someone who's been able to experience comics through the different phases and arcs, how do you feel about reboots? Reboots, another thorny issue, and I've got some kitchen table notes to guide me as well. Right, I'm going to separate the answer to this question into two camps. First camp is the fan. The second camp is the retailer. So let's do the fan first. Reboots, sometimes I enjoy them. I enjoy the chance to start again. We all know comics can become quite convoluted with their continuity, and sometimes just sweeping all that away and breaking it back down to basics is just a great thing to do for everybody, new readers and old, I think. I always slightly mourn the legacy numbers, which is odd. But, you know, I mean, Detective Comics is on 1,080 something. When they finally put that back to number one, which they have done before, it will be slightly heartbreaking because it's quite a milestone to get to those huge numbers, isn't it? But I don't necessarily have a huge problem with them, so long as they're done with intent. A new creative team comes on and they're going to provide a different angle on it without reinventing the wheel, but that's fine. And we've seen many, 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 many of them. I've become a little bit cynical of them. Amazing Spider-Man recently rebooted with number one. Don't know if it needed to. I mean, it went to number one with the same writer. I think, to be honest, no problem with the writer, but just carry on. Just carry on and call it a new arc. Or, if you want to do a number one, you've got to start fresh. My thoughts. Batman, the flagship Batman title, that's about, after the Hush 2 arc, that's about to reboot to number one with a new writer, Matt Fraction, a new design for Batman, apparently much shorter story arcs, 1, 2, or 3 issues, slightly lighter, as I talked about, or as I will talk about in an upcoming video. Why? It's why? I mean, you've got a new writer, you've got a new design, you're going a slightly different way. It doesn't need a number one reboot. Feels a bit cynical. You're only at 160 odd anyway. So, fine. I don't have a problem with it. I just, as a fan, I just think I'll read it. And if it's a good restart, awesome, I'm on board. And I'd be equally on board if it was number 161 or 1. Fine. Right then, the retailer side of things. This one's a bit more complicated. Listen, as a retailer, I have to say I like a number 1. I do. It allows people to have a fresh jumping on point. Everything I've said from the fan point of view about the fact if it was issue 1 or 161, I don't care, that's true. But it's so much easier for someone new to walk in the door and see a number 1. Maybe not someone new through the door, not even a new comics reader, but someone who, for example, doesn't read Spidey, typically. Oh, number 1, I'm going to give it a go. The fact that if they'd not done the number 1 and it started a new writer and a new arc, that wouldn't click the same way that number 1 does. I've got to say I appreciate it from a retailer point of view when there's a new number 1. ASM, as I've talked about, Fantastic Four's doing it, Batman's doing it. You know, it's fine. From a retailer point of view, I like it. It is a fresh jumping on point. However, there is a big but on this, and that is number 1 only lasts a month, and then it's number 2, and then it's number 3, and so on. By the time it's number, let's say 5, for argument's sake, that newness of it is gone. And if I don't have numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 in stock, someone new-ish isn't going to go, oh, I'm going to jump on at number 5. They're going to say, Andy, have you got number 1, 2, 3, 4? And if the answer to that is no, they'll be like, I'll leave it then. If they were interested in jumping on before, when Batman was at 161, they would go, they don't expect you to have the preceding 160 issues. They want to give it a go, they'll give it a go. They'll just jump in, they'll work it out, as we all did when we started reading comics. But they don't have that same mentality for number 5, because they are so close to having the beginning that they don't want to just jump in halfway. So it's a challenge, quite frankly, because how many number 1s do you get? Fantastic Four's rebooting with number 1. Do I buy an absolute shed load, even though I don't think it's going to sell that well? Just so that when issue 5 rolls around, I do have some number 1s, just in case the film does boot it up? I don't know. It's impossible. It's really, really tricky. I've talked about this in other videos, I think the variant cover one, but there is also a cynical nature to it where I think old school comic fans do feel a little bit when there's a reboot, not because they resent the reboot for the reboot's sake, but they've played this game before. And quite often when there's a number 1, a reboot, they freshen everything, they start again, brilliant. But before you know it, within a year, let's say 2 years, they've fallen back into the same old traps. They've tangled themselves up into continuity. And because there was an absolutely barnstorming story from 10 years ago, i.e. in the old continuity, they have to do some kind of time-lapse, jump, business, warp type vibe to kind of bring in a character from that into this, which kind of, even though they broke continuity, links to continuities again, and then you get multiverses and it all gets confusing again. Have the courage of have the courage of your convictions, I guess. Marvel and DC editors, not just Marvel and DC, but they are the main offenders. Let's be honest. If you're going to reboot, go big, go bold, be brave, and stick to your guns, or don't. Just crack on. I suppose number 1 can be a soft reboot, doesn't it? I mean, it doesn't need to sweep everything away. Obviously, when they do a reboot, elements of continuity have to come with, just because they've become so embedded. And that's fair enough. That's fair enough, I think. So, hey, reboots. Let me check my magic list of kitchen table points. I don't know about your household. The kitchen table is very much kind of the admin center of the Smith household. When things need to get talked about, it's kitchen table time. Basically, the kitchen table is for meals and big discussions. I don't know why that is, and making notes for YouTube videos, seemingly. So, kitchen table notes. I think I've talked about that. Yeah, I've talked about that. I'll tell you what, one more thing to say. When they do a reboot, unless you got something new to do with it, do we need a retelling of the origin? We probably don't. We probably don't. That's fine. Leave that well enough alone. We don't need to start all over again with the origins. But hey, what do I know? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I always love to read them. This has been fun. I like answering the questions that come in, and I appreciate the questions that do come in. I think it's really good. So if there's anything else you'd like to chat about, do let me know in the comments below. Please like and subscribe. Share it, tell your mates, whatever you're going to do. But thank you for watching.